Objectives for 2.1. Find the domain and range of a relation. Determine whether a relation is a function. Determine whether an equation represents a function. Evaluate a function. Graph functions by plotting points. Use the vertical line test to identify functions. Obtain information about a function from its graph. Identify the domain and range of a function from its graph. And identify intercepts from a function's graph. Yeah? Now, that's a lot of stuff for one lesson, right? Is any of it hard? No, not any of it, right? Okay? So first of all, let me give you a relation. Okay? 2, 4, 7, 5, 3, 6, 1, negative 2, and negative 3, 0. Okay? So first of all, let's find the domain and range of this function. Relation. Okay? So what is the domain of this relation? Well, what's domain again? X values. So how are we going to list these X values? Least to greatest. Okay? So negative 3, 1, 2. Whoa. Did you see me? I said 2 and then wrote 3. Super weird. But you know by now I'm already a super weirdo. Everybody okay with that? So what's the range of this relation? All the y values in any particular order? Least to greatest, so negative 2, 0, yep, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now, while we're here, first of all, do I need to do any more domain and range examples for you for finding your domain and range of a relation? Okay, then while we're here, let's determine whether this relation is a function. There's a rule. You know this rule, yes? For every x, there is only one y. So the hint is look to see if any x's repeat. If any x's repeat, is it a function? No. So if any x's repeat, yes, x's repeat, then this is not a function. If we say, do any x's repeat, and the answer is no, then it is a function. Does that make sense? Okay. What about points that are not typical traditional points? Like this. What if that's the information? So what could x's be? But what could it be? Like the general title for that section, the x's. Teachers, okay? And what could the y be? Either years of working or students in 6th period, right? Does that make sense? Okay? Is this a function? Because why? None of the names repeat, right? Just because we're saying here where we're looking for numbers that repeat, right? We're still just looking for x values to see if they repeat, okay? Any questions about that? Sorry, I'm just trying to understand my notes. Like, I understand what's happening into them. I just don't understand why I have what I have written. Let's evaluate a function. You can do this, yes? Evaluating a function is like this. I'm going to tell you f of x equals x squared plus 5, and then I will ask for f of 2. So that means anywhere there is an x, I want to put a 2. So 2 squared plus 5. 2 squared is 4 plus 5. So f of 2 equals 9. What else does that mean on the graph? When the x value is 2, the y value is 9. Excellent. Okay. What about this? F of x equals x squared plus 5. What about f of x plus 3? What does that mean? So anywhere there's an x, I replace it with an x plus 3. Now, is that the answer? Why is that not the answer? We need to simplify it. That's exactly right. Okay, we need to simplify this. So is it okay if I come over here to the side to do some scratch work? So I have, God bless you, x plus 3 times x plus 3, right? If you had decided to say x squared plus 9, you will get the answer wrong every time, right? Because squaring something means multiplying it by itself, which means I distribute, right? So x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. So x squared plus 6x plus 9, and then plus 5. So what is the value of f of x plus 3? X squared plus 6x plus 14. Any questions about that? Okay. Do I need to give you any examples of number 5? Graph functions by plotting points. You're positive? You guys all feel 100% confident in that? Okay. What about using a vertical line test to identify functions? You're positive on that? You don't need any examples of that? Okay, so if I just give you like a... Well, I thought I had a graph right here, but now I do. So if I give you a graph like this, no matter what's on the graph, no matter what's there, remember you're just putting your pencil vertically. That's why it's called the vertical line test. We move it across, and as long as it's not touching the function or the relation in more than one place, then it is a function, right? Obtain information about a function from its graph. Well, what kind of information might we want? Vertex would be important if it's a parabola or for its absolute value. What did you say? Control T. We could use Control T to get to our table, so we could look at stuff in our table. Absolutely. What other information might we want to find out about a function from its graph? The slope, if it's a line. Domain and range. Can we determine those from its graph? And in fact, that's the next one, right? So you want to talk about that real quick? But intercepts would be things. Oh, look, it even talks about that in a second, right? So let me give you a graph. What if this is what my graph looked like? Can you tell me the domain and range of that graph? What's the domain of this graph? So it starts at -4, including -4. So bracket. All the way to where? 3, including 3? No. Sorry. What's the range of this graph? -2? How far up does it go? To 2? Now, some people don't like the fact that this is an open circle and we didn't indicate that at all in our range. But remember, range is the y values, so it goes all the way down to -2, and right here, while this is not included, isn't that included? Yes? So isn't -1 still included in our range? Okay? Do I need to do any more of those for you? We good with that? Okay. Now what about the intercepts? Like, isn't that typically something you can, like, look at it? What are the intercepts of this graph? So x-intercepts, it's where it crossed the x-axis. So what point is that? Okay, this one? All right, we can start with this one. You keep saying -2. Y-intercept is a point, right? So we can't just say -2 because -2 is just a number. -2 is 0, right? We know it's a y-intercept because that's when, we know it's an x-intercept because we know that's when y is 0. Is there another x-intercept? What is it? 2, 0. Okay. Is there a y-intercept? What is it? Question. Any questions about any of these objectives for today?